Okay, so my name is Mартіна Україні. I'm chairman of the Скаутський dom. It's a house belongs to the Scouts in Ukrainian language Plast. And so it's youth which is organized in living in the nature and making social activities. And we are in the center of the historical town, which belongs to UNESCO heritage. It's about 1,000 years old town, Banська Штявниця. It's complicated. And the unique in the town is it's all built in the crater of the volcano. It's not many, I think there's no other town built in the crater of volcano. And it's rich of the mines because of gold, silver and all this. So 2,000 years of mining, deep mining here. And many of the houses, also this one we are sitting now, it's 500 and older, 500 years old. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you have a house which is like 200 years old in Banській Штявниці, it's a new house, let's say. So it's very historical, and also this house is Renaissance building. We organizing many activities for youth, which means mostly Scouts, but today, for example, we have 70 students from the Bratislava. It's all Slovakia children studying in Bratislava for some international bachelor course. If you want to go to university abroad, you must have this special degree. And we are open to many other activities like children's club or whatever. So now we are at the project which is a restoration of Baroque Kальварії.
The restaurant.
Kальварії means 24 chapels and churches on the hill.
Yes, and
please we are now today not directly on Kальварії, we are about 300 meters away. Okay. And we identified in old maps the historical road to Kальварії. So now we are step by step renewing this road because during communism it was like blocked and devastated and full of vegetation because it's 70 years ago as it was like closed. So when we have a big group, it's volunteers from the school from Bratislava, so they came to help us. It's a big help because it's coming 60 people maybe for 3-4 hours, but it's many people, so it's a big help. As for the Ukrainian situation and war, so immediately when it started, 24th of February, we opened the house for the refugees. And we not just opened the accommodation because we have about 50 beds. So we started to organize the integration process because it's not just my experience from previous activities. It's not just to be you don't just need to stay, sleep and eat. You have to have also social activities and something like this. So we opened the Ukrainian Integration Club, which means it's a place where every day is some activity. So regularly it was like Monday was a general meeting. There used to come 40 to 60 people. And we told them what are the situation in town, how are the rules, what are the possibilities. And then later on we started to organize for them schools for the children, jobs, yeah, and health support if they need something. Many of these activities is organized also by municipality or by state, but Slovakia is not so high organized country, so if it's done by volunteering, it's many places that it's working better, and it's more human, not just informal. In this club, for example, we used to have about 8 or 10 language courses every week, which means English and Slovak languages, and so that the refugees could study Slovak or English, because both languages you need in Europe, in Slovakia and Europe. And I told them always like, we don't know how long it takes, of course, but the season was coming. Now it's about to finish the season because we are in the summer season town. So if you will have some knowledge in Slovak language, you can find a job, mostly in the tourism, a waiter, cook, cleaning up, and things like this. And most of them, I think minimum 50 people was working this summer. Altogether in this town was about, I think, 200 refugees. Now I think it's less than 100, maybe 70. Many of them, they just went back home or just go on some other countries. And that's basically the beginning of the story. Just 50 kilometers, Banska Bystrica. They organize something like events. I know we have a car, 7 people coming there. So we took apart. We didn't organize. There are some more activities we organize. For example, every weekend was a trip to go around the mountains, because for Ukrainian people it's the big hills here, because we have hills about 600, 700, 1,000 meters is the highest peak in the region. But many people coming from East Ukraine is the big hills. For Slovakia it's small hills, but it was funny to see how the people react from Kharkov or Poltava, Kiev on our hills. So one of the activities was also the changing money, because the problem was that Slovak authorities and banks did not change the hryvnias. But people came with some money, sometimes a lot of hryvnias, sometimes very, very few. But it was not, first 2 months was not possible to change it. So we changed the money for them so that they could have money. And then when it was possible, we changed it back to euros. So many times it's about the psychological help, because people have many complications by the situation here, situation at home. So of course we try to help this. Now the situation in Slovakia is more organized. It means like the psychological help, it's coming every week on Tuesdays, and the health care is also coming once a week. So it's more organized and it's professional, it's good. We still have a problem with accommodation, because to accommodate people in February, March is not a problem, because big capacity here. We have about 2,500 beds in Banська Штявниця for tourists. But the problem is in the summer season, when everybody is renting the houses, so there's a big logistic problem how to move the people. And now it's again, because many of the capacity is empty, because the season is on the end. So it will be another logistic operation how to bring people to the proper houses or flats. Yeah, because you can stay in the hotel room, but in the hotel room you have 2 beds and no equipment. But if you have family, you need to cook, you need to have some privacy. So we're trying to organize this now. I think at the moment it's important a little bit to discuss the situation with Ukrainian people as for where they are from. Yeah, because Ukraine is a huge country. Yeah. And of course it's dangerous all around Ukraine, but yeah, the risk in Lviv, it's 0.0 something, and risk in Poltava is bigger, Kharkov. Yeah? So I think we should focus more for the refugees from the regions like Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson,
who lost their houses.
Yeah, because they have no place to go back. It's a war or it's destroyed. And the different situation with the people from Kiev or the West, because yeah, it's risky. I don't want to make any like it's a big problem. But I was in Israel 5 years ago, and they have 200 rocket attacks a day, smaller ones. But you have to live somehow. You have to build your economy. You have to build your houses, and children must go to the schools, not to Slovak school, but Ukrainian schools. So we want to focus more for the people that really. And you know, the situation in Slovakia and Europe is coming. The populists now are taking this situation because we pay a lot of money. Yeah? Because it's happening now in Slovakia that some people from Ukraine have made better income than the Slovaks. Yeah? Because if you support them accommodation for free and you have a job, if you count together, you can have a more than the standard poor Slovak. Yeah? So the many poor people say that they have more subsidies than we have. Okay, so this is very important to communicate. So schools is very different situation in Bratislava and in the regions, because Bratislava is quite full of Slovaks, because also Slovaks immigrate to Bratislava, so that it is hard to find a place. It's no problem in the regions. Yeah, it was no problem. We have about 50 kids in the schools in Banська Штявниця, and it was no problem.
Do they study in Slovak language?
Yes, it's in Slovak language only. Yeah.
How long does it take for Ukrainians to learn Slovak?
To understand, I think it's quite quick. It's about 3 months. To talk, it's much slower. If you are good, it takes 5-6 months. But generally, it's a Slavic language. So if you focus on it, if you learn something, I think you can, in 3 months, you can be really very able for most jobs. Not much for sophisticated, but in the school also. We have one boy, he's living in my house. He's from Poltava. He's 16. He came. We promised the family to stay 1 year. So, but he understands everything Slovak, but he can speak, can talk. Yeah. So it's important in the school to be able to talk, to understand. Maybe he is not classified in Slovak language. Okay.
And what do you recommend for people who want to go abroad, like who need to go abroad? Would you recommend to go to Slovakia or some other country?
Well, Slovakia has some benefits and some non-benefits. Yeah, benefits that it's I think it's a nice country to stay. It's close. It's very similar language. So I know there's a family that was in Italy and Spain, and they came back to Slovakia because say it's much better here. Yeah, especially if you have somebody older in the group, like mother or some grandmother. So if you go to Belgium and to study French or German, it's very hard to understand. Yeah? If you are granny in Slovakia, you can understand if you go to shop or whatever. So the cultural language difference is very small. Yeah? Cultural language. As for the job opportunities, are better places than Slovakia. Yeah? But for example, the education, if you want to find a place for the university or the high school, you can come and you can study tomorrow. Yeah? Not in Germany. Yeah? You must speak English perfectly or German. So how many refugees speak English or German? So for these people it's better. Yeah. But yes, for example, the atmosphere anti-Ukrainian, it's better, or pro-Ukrainian, it's better in Poland than in Slovakia. Yeah, it's more welcoming, and so in Slovakia, there's a big. At the moment, the government is perfect. Slovak government is perfect in the moment, yeah? But it's this moment. Okay, but anti-Ukrainian propaganda approach is strong, and we are in the fear how much it will be after 1 year. Because now the winter will be hard with the energy, the prices, and the populists say it's because of Ukrainians. Yeah. So and it's very hard to explain. Yeah, it's because of this war, but not because of Ukraine, because of Russians, of course. But people used to pay like 300 euro per month, and they should pay like 2,000. It's not possible. People don't get so much money, so it will be very easy for propaganda. Yeah. Just let's finish, stop helping, and it will come back. It will not come back, but it will be too late to if you lose the election because of this. Okay, but this enthusiasm has a very, very small amount of the people. Yeah, so we cannot risk the politic changes because of abusing of the topic of Ukraine. It happens in Slovakia. It happens also. We are very sad about it, but it's the Russian propaganda is also here. Yeah.
So some people support Russia here?
Of course, as not few. It's I think 20-30% of the population, which is more than Ukraine, much more. Yeah? So they attack also us, attack also refugees, but they also attack the people helping Ukrainians. It's hard to explain.
What would you wish to Ukraine?
Well, okay, this conflict is very important for the world, not just for the Europe. Yeah, for ours it's crucial. People are stupid and don't understand it, but it's crucial for the Europe that we must win. So we wish you all the best. I think it's important to win everything, not just to win something. If it's realistic, I have no idea. I'm not expert. It's very much about the Ukrainian people. How much you want to risk, how much you want to lose lives. Yeah. Because if you finish now some compromise, okay, you can finish it quickly, but I'm afraid it will come back in 10 years. Yeah, the business as usual with Russia, and no, they must lose. Today, 30 years, I come back from Murmansk. So it was catastrophic. Murmansk was like disaster. And I saw like this is not real imperium. This is imperium, mental imperium, but not technological, cultural, or whatever. It's Potemkin. It's all fake. So I believe that they're not so strong as they show themselves. So I think it's possible, but I'm not expert for war. I don't know how much is the. I believe a lot of the Zelensky. I think it's very important that he will have loyal people around him, loyal inhabitants. Okay, because now we must win this.
Thank you.
You're welcome.